At the podium for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin and Russell Wilson, as Mike Tomlin falls into the trap. Steelers fall to the 2-8 Cleveland Browns on the road on Thursday Night Football, 24-19. The final score, as that was a game where the main factor, everybody, in all of this was in all facets of the game. In all times of the game were management, timeouts, and all of the above. Mike Tomlin absolutely butchered this game to the umpteenth degree from start to finish. The management of this game was absolutely an embarrassment. It was awful. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Steelers fall to 8-3 with this loss on the road against Cleveland. And they will have to hear, they will be gnawing on this one for the next 10 days. This was absolutely a winnable game. I was shocked that with these conditions, they even took the lead. And Russell Wilson throwing the ball deep in these conditions as well as he was for these conditions, that was surprising. What went on post-game, everybody, is that some of the NFL people that were standing at the back of the end zone when the Steelers were trying to get the Hail Mary on that final play, they were holding George Pickens back from a Cleveland Browns fan. That's what was going on.
So you think it should have been a penalty?
With that snap. No, it wouldn't have been a penalty against Cleveland. It was after the game was over. Both of them sort of doing their own thing.
Like they were making sure you didn't crash out on somebody.
Pretty much. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Alright, Joey, I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Next week.
But everybody, this game was absolutely atrocious by Mike Tomlin. Wasting that second timeout. Wasting that second timeout coming out of the 2-minute warning, costing time there. Pittsburgh not letting Nick Chubb score when he got to the 2-yard line, that wasted 40 seconds there. Mike Tomlin wasted all sorts of time at the end of both halves, and the Steelers desperately needed every single second of it. Every single second of it, and they did not get their maximum time because their head coach crapped the bed in terms of clock management. That's a wake-up call.
I'm not a fan of giving them two chances on third. I don't care if it's game 3. You don't give any professional football offense 2 more chances. If they convert and they score, how many more seconds do you have on that comeback? 20, 30 seconds?
If they would have let Chubb, if they would have allowed Chubb to score on the first run where he was stopped at the 2, that would have freed up about an extra 35 seconds of time, which you saw would have been very needed. It would have been very appreciated.
Another thing I did not like at all, and I think this was contagious. It made me want to pull whoever's hair it was. I understand the Justin Fields package. I don't want Justin Fields taking a one-on-one shot with George Pickens in coverage. I don't want that. Why are you doing that? Russ honestly played really good. I'm sure if you look at his stats, his completion percentage is pretty good. He finds people over 200. He had a good game from the passing standpoint. The biggest problem with this football team is you have no receivers that are getting open. Okay, tonight you had really bad game management on the end of Mike Tomlin.
Both halves.
Yep. Both halves. That cost you the game in that sense. Offensively, O-line was not good at run blocking. Russ didn't have fun. Kirk Herbstreit, I can't tell you how many times he's on the broadcast. When he would roll out Russ, the receivers wouldn't even follow him. They wouldn't really run. The last play of the game, I know you're not going to call that ever on a Hail Mary. Could have been roughing, could have been pass interference. I see why George Pickens was as mad as he was, because he wasn't even a factor in that play. Basically got pushed off the field by Greg Newsom or whoever that was in coverage. But you lost this game. I know you're 8-3, but that hurt. That hurt because you have a juggernaut ahead. You still got Joe Burrow twice. You still have to go to Philadelphia. You still have Kansas City. You still got Lamar and those boys one more time. You need to win the games you need to win if you want to be a Super Bowl winning team. This is the standard in Pittsburgh. You're paying your quarterback room $2 million. If there's ever a window, it's this year. You're not executing that window. That's great. Let's say you go 13-4, 12-5. You win in the first round and go home in the second because you got blown out by Josh Allen. What did you get out of that? And I'm going to say something that I truly believe. I think TJ Watt's out of his prime. I still think he's a great player, good player, but he's no longer in his prime. So you waste another year of TJ's back end of his prime. Cam Hayward, what are you doing? Tomlin has to get better with managing the game. It's as simple as that.
And talking about that, not to cut you off, let's send it over right now. Mike Tomlin at